as much as I try to avoid this racist bullshit, it is unavoidable when it's coming from the President of the United States and the Vice President of the United States. You can't avoid it. You can't. I don't find myself in the dark corners of the internet. I don't find myself on Truth Social or any of these websites where I know it's going to be a lot of anti-black shit. But I do try to stay aware of what's going on with state government, federal government, what's going on in my home state of Mississippi. So when you do shit like that, it's hard to avoid the bullshit when the Vice President of the United States, along with Charlie Kirk's wife, comes to the biggest university in your state, Ole Miss, for an event in honor of the late Charlie Kirk. And they bring that bullshit to your doorstep. Let's talk about this, y'all. Let's talk about this shit briefly. Before we do, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Put all your people on this real shit. Okay? But yes, y'all know that Charlie Kirk's organization is called Turning Point USA. It's an organization in which they try to push conservative values, particularly on the young people. Okay? In their opinion, college especially is making young people, young white people, that's what they're targeting. Young white people too liberal. Okay? That's what they think. So they believe that you got to go on these college campuses and expose these young white people to conservative ideas to counter what they're being taught by their radical leftist professors. Okay. So with Charlie Kirk being killed, JD Vance, the Vice President of the fucking United States, felt the need to fill in for Charlie Kirk. And had the blessing of Charlie Kirk's wife. Hell, got introduced by Charlie Kirk's wife. And came to Ole Miss, in Oxford, Mississippi. And they did an event. Now, this event was covered by mainstream media. Hell, this event was all over social media because the embrace between Charlie Kirk's wife, Erika Kirk, and JD Vance had a lot of motherfuckers looking like, man, what the fuck is going on with these folks? Seemed a little inappropriate. Okay. A shot over talking about nobody will replace her husband, but she can see some similarities between her husband and JD Vance, and then JD Vance got his ass up there on stage and answered a question about him being in a interfaith marriage. You know, I think his wife is Hindu and he's a Christian. You let him tell it. Okay, that's what he says he is. And this motherfucker up here gonna say he holds out hope basically that his wife will change her religion. That's tough, Jack. That's tough to go on the motherfucking stage and throw your wife under the bus like that. That's tough. But that's what he did. That's led to a lot of speculation. Motherfuckers saying, shit, he gonna divorce that woman. She gonna divorce him. He gonna end up marrying Charlie Kirk wife. That's tough. But to have these motherfuckers in my home state and to take their ass to Ole Miss with Ole Miss's history, with Ole Miss still being known as the Ole Miss Rebels. Rebels. What is that? Rebel refer back to? When did you rebel? When did Mississippi rebel? Oh, when Mississippi seceded. When Mississippi became the second state to secede from the Union to try to protect slavery. That's when they rebelled. And the flagship school here in this state is still, to this day in 2025, called the Rebels. Oh, that school. That school that they used to be waving the Confederate battle flag at the fucking football games. That school. That school that made national news with how they tried to keep James Meredith out that bitch. A school that had a fucking riot on campus just because that man finally ended up getting admitted to that school. A school that JFK had to send the motherfucking troops in to protect that man. That school. So that school with all its fucking history, the vice president of the United States chose to come to that school on behalf of Turning Point USA. An organization that was led by the openly racist Charlie Kirk. I don't give a fuck about him being civil and all that kind of shit. That motherfucker was racist. He was sexist. Clearly. It wasn't ambiguous. And I don't give a fuck about you saying nothing about he was friends with Candace Owens. A racist motherfucker could be fucking a black person and still be racist. Thomas Jefferson enslaved black people and was fucking a black person, raping a black person. The fuck out of here, man. So don't give me that shit about Charlie Kirk being friends with Candace Owens. That does not mean that he didn't believe. He clearly believed that he was superior intellectually to black women, especially. We've heard him say that shit about smarter black women than Candace Owens. He said that type of shit about Michelle Obama. He said that shit about Ketanji Brown Jackson. About Joy Reid. Get the fuck out of here, man. He said they ain't got the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Come on, man. And the vice president of the United States came to Ole Miss in honor of that person. How can I avoid that, bro? I would have to unfollow every news organization that I follow. I would have to stay off social media. I would have to not watch any news clips on YouTube. I would have to I don't watch much news on TV. I don't watch much anything on TV. But I would just have to not read books. I have to not just cut myself off from everything to avoid all this bullshit because it's coming from the fucking White House. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't coming from the corners of the internet. This bullshit ain't coming from the far right. The administration is far right. You can't say, oh, that's this motherfuckers on the extremes. Hell, the administration is extreme. So it is completely draining being an intellectual at this moment, bro. It's draining. Being a man of conscience at this moment is draining. Fucking draining. Being a black man at any moment in this goddamn country. But as always, I call on all the real ones. Stay vigilant. Don't give up the fight. I know I sound tired. I am. But I'm still here. Still using my platform, still using my voice. Okay? So you continue to fight in whatever way you can. Continue to get the truth out there in whatever way you can. Because this bullshit is coming from the highest seats of government. It is. Motherfuckers with the biggest megaphones in the country. They're openly on it. So the only way we can beat it is to go just as hard as they are for righteousness, though. Put it on something. I appreciate you watching. I think you'll enjoy these other videos too. So check them out now.